we'll be starting off with a bit of an introduction to 3D printing. And what we will be covering includes what 3D printing is, its benefits, types of 3D printers, how to access 3D printers, including borrowing and buying, as well as 3D printing apps. So firstly, you might be wondering, what is a 3D printer? 3D printing is also known as additive manufacturing, and it is the construction of a three-dimensional object from a CAD model or a digital 3D model. Material is deposited, joined, or solidified under computer control in order to create a three-dimensional object. The process always begins with a digital 3D model. The blueprint of the physical object is also used. The part is manufactured directly onto the built platform layer by layer, according to what you've programmed it to do. Depending on the size of the part, as well as the type of printer, a print usually takes approximately 4 to 18 hours in order to be completed. There's a little picture here at the bottom of the slide, and this is an example of an item that's been 3D printed. It's a little dragon action figure, and that's been created through the 3D printer. Next is the history of 3D printing. The general concept of 3D printing first began in 1950 by a sci-fi author. Also, early 3D printing methods started up in the 1980s for the production of functional or aesthetic prototypes. Traditionally, 3D printing focused on polymers for printing, but the method has rapidly evolved to also print metals as well as ceramics, and makes it a versatile option for manufacturing. As of 2020, 3D printers have reached the level of quality and price that allows most people to enter the world of 3D printing. In 2020, decent quality printers can be found for less than $200 US for entry-level machines. 3D printing has now become a common utilized piece of equipment in manufacturing. This includes medical industries and manufacturing, as well as sociocultural sectors. Next are the benefits of 3D printers. 3D printing allows for easy fabrication of complex shapes, many of which cannot be produced by any other manufacturing method. Since 3D printing does not need any specialized tooling, there are essentially no startup costs, which is a great benefit. The cost of a 3D printed part depends only on the amount of material used, as it is directly influenced by the amount of material that you use. The object that comes out will have the same cost. 3D printing, though, allows for easy customization of individual parts as well, and low-cost prototyping with very quick turnaround is another great benefit. Along with each of these benefits, there's also a large range of specialty materials that are used. Next, we will be moving into why you might want to actually use a 3D printer. Especially for DIY enthusiasts as well as creators that are constantly exploring new ideas, 3D printing is a handy tool to use. One of its key benefits is the ability to produce unlimited spare parts and new designs without relying on any other external vendors. You can continuously develop and customize your designs. For educators, 3D printers can help because subjects can be brought to life through scaled replicas. As well, for movie makers, 3D printers can be used to create highly believable props. Lastly, for designers, they can also create high-quality functional prototypes for a new product concept. Now, how to access a 3D printer, specifically through buying one. Many retailers sell 3D printers, including Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, and Staples. Prices can range from around $300 to above $2,000, depending on the model and the size. When choosing a 3D printer, consider your budget. This includes what you want to use it for, what size of objects you want to print, as well as the materials that you want to use. These all influence the budget and the cost of the 3D printer that you would be buying. Here's an image showing a few different types of 3D printers that there are. Here is an example of an entry-level 3D printer model. This is called the Flashforge Adventurer 3. The cost is around $700, and the FDM printer has a compact design and a sturdy metal frame that encloses the entire print chamber. It also has a fully enclosed print chamber, a heated print bed, an LED interface with touch buttons, and a dual extrusion system. The Flashforge Adventurer 3 Lite is a slightly cheaper option and can be purchased on Amazon by clicking here. And you'll be able to access this link when you're given the presentation, or you can simply search up Amazon in your search bar. Next, here's another example of an entry-level 3D printer model. This is called Anycubic Mega S FDM printer. The cost is around $450. This printer provides the best value for money in terms of quality as well as reliability. Unlike printers with enclosed chambers, you will have to do some assembly with the Mega S, but it has a larger build volume. It also has a great touchscreen interface with multi-language support, an empty filament alarm, as well as a resume print. You can also purchase this one from Amazon by clicking on that link, or searching up Amazon and then searching the name of the product, Anycubic Mega S FDM 3D printer, into the search bar of Amazon. Next, how to access 3D printers through borrowing. So if you don't want to actually purchase one for yourself, because they are quite costly and maybe you only want to use it a handful of times, there's also always the option to borrow it from someone else. So if you are interested in using a 3D printer, but you do not want to commit to buying one, you have many different options. Firstly, some public libraries have 3D printers that they allow the public to access for a small fee. An example of this is the Toronto Public Library, which has 8 different locations with 3D printers. For the Toronto Public Library, you can book the printer for a maximum of 3 hours at a time by calling the branch. All you need to do this is a library card. The cost is 10 cents per 1 gram of filament for each printing job. The Toronto Public Library also offers free 3D printing courses, which are great to educate yourself on the topic before you go ahead and try it out. To learn more, you can click this link when you're given the presentation. If you do not live in Toronto or you live in a completely different area, you can always find other options, and there are many different types of 3D printing courses. If you simply search it up on the internet, you can find resources that will help you. Next, I will be going over some of the 3D printing apps, which are very helpful. There are multiple free apps available for download on both Android and iOS devices that can facilitate the 3D printing process. Firstly, apps for 3D printer control. These include Printoid for Octoprint, Octopod, as well as AstroPrint. Then there are also 3D modeling apps for the design of blueprint, including ShapeR 3D, Onshape, and Putty 3D. These apps can be found by either going to the Google Play Store and searching up its name if you have an Android device, or if you have an iOS device, also known as Apple, you can go into the App Store and search the names of these apps. Next, here are a few fun facts about 3D printing. In the US, hearing aids are manufactured almost exclusively using 3D printing machines. As well, fashion designers are experimenting with 3D printing bikinis, shoes, and dresses. Next, NASA is also looking into the technology of 3D printing of food in order to limit food waste in space and also to make food that are designed to fit an astronaut's dietary needs while they're in space. 3D printing has also been used in the humanitarian development sector in order to produce a range of medical items, prosthetics, spares, as well as repairs. And lastly, during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, 3D printers have been used to supplement the strained supply of personal protective equipment through volunteers using their own printers in order to produce various pieces of PPE equipment for themselves and others. So as you can see with these fun facts, there are many different uses of these 3D printers and the objects that they can create. So it's a cool thing to experiment with and also to learn about how it's developing in our world with this new technology. If you are interested in learning more, here are some links with additional info about 3D printers and apps. So you'll be able to click on these links. They have some great information and you can learn more and educate yourself about this topic to a greater extent. So now I will be going into a live demonstration of finding 3D printers on Amazon specifically, though as I mentioned before, you can find them on Best Buy, Staples, and many other technological stores. I will be going to Amazon.ca because I'm in Canada, though you can also go to .com if you are in the United States. So once you're here, this is what Amazon looks like. Many of you may be familiar with this site. So you would simply search up either a specific name of one of the printers, for example, the ones that I spoke about in the presentation, or you can also simply just search up 3D printer to see all of the different options. So all I did was go to this top search bar, and then I'm going to click on this 3D printer that comes up once I type it in. So once I've gotten here, you can see that there's over 70,000 results for 3D printer. So there's many different products that they offer. And here are a few of the options. So as you can see, one of the options that comes up is Anycubic Mega S 3D printer, which was mentioned in the presentation. Though there are many different ones that you can go and look into more and make sure that you learn about the materials that are needed for it and the different features of each of them, because some of them have different structures and different ways that you can use them. So make sure that you're looking into that, but you can also mainly see if it's prime or not, if you want it to be delivered quickly. As well, you can see the price. So this one's $282, and there are many different prices available here. And I would encourage people to look into possibly looking at the other customers' reviews in order to see if there are any issues with the product, because you don't want to invest in something that is this costly without knowing exactly what you're getting yourself into. So for example, if I found one that I liked, I'm interested in buying this one, which costs $690. You can see that it is in stock here, and once you look through the different details about it, you can learn about this item, you can learn about the color, the price, and then there's also some specific Amazon return policies and delivery policies as well. And once you read up on it, I might decide, oh, I don't actually want this, so I wouldn't add it to my cart. But maybe I came back a few weeks from now and I'm really thinking about this printer and I think to myself, oh, I really need this. So I'm going to add it to my cart now. And then once I've done that, you can see what's in your cart by going to cart. And I can only buy one item because this is the amount of money I have. And then I would just simply proceed to checkout. And then with many of the online shopping experiences that you've most likely been through, you do have to sign in or create an account to actually purchase from Amazon. And then if you want to continue exploring different options, you can simply go back and look at the other options that are available.